Welcome. I'm Janelle Kolaski, a career mindset coach and actor.
And I'm Amanda Dubois, a self-authenticity and prosperity life coach and actor as well. And we're your co-host of Mindset Artistry YouTube channel,
where we teach you the art of discovering and using your mindset
to build a career and life you desire.
And as we are approaching another holiday and going into the new year, wow, it's incredible to see how far we've come, how fast it's come, and kind of push the reset button a bit. But today we're going to talk about navigating the holidays and really nurturing your joy in your environment. And I know it can be a lot with friends, family, work, people who are going to work and take extra shifts because they have to make sure that they have the gifts for their friends or pay the bills. These are times where, work can be the most important. Those that may have kids or people that take care of, maybe family members that, can't take care of themselves. So you have the responsibility of taking care of them. And so just know that you aren't alone. Let me know if you're here, drop a comment. Oh, here we go. I couldn't see if people were joining. Hey, Justine. And, these holidays can be very lonely. They can also be a lot overwhelming. They can also be harsh reminders of family that we do have or we don't. And like I said, work can be overwhelming. It can be the pressures. I know us in the acting industry and the entertainment industry, the strike is over. And so we're eager to get back to work. And so that pressure and that mindset can be weighing on you as you're approaching the holidays. And it's been a difficult summer. And you're like, maybe crunching the numbers and the money and trying to get by. And you don't feel like you're going to have a good holiday. You don't feel like, you'll be able to even treat yourself or those that you love. And so I wanted to create a space for you to understand that it's absolutely okay to feel all those ways. You're only human. And we have so many roles that we play, but I want you, and this came to me during a client session this past week, is that you need to nurture your soul, not the role that you're playing. And by doing that, here's the importance of nurturing and taking care of your environment, taking care of yourself, that self-care. It will help lower your stress levels. It will help you gain clarity. It will help you build relationships or step away from relationships that aren't serving you. So before we dive into navigating and nurturing your joy through your environment and some tips and tools that I'm going to give you, now, what comes to mind when you think about the holidays, or they call it the holiday blues, and nurturing your joy and your self-care during these times, especially in the cold?
It is cold. Dropped down to 20 around these parts last night, and that was freezing. Whiskey helps. Yeah, for me, holidays, no matter what it's going on, whether I'm making money or not, I really ran into, because you have time to think, I ran into the problem of analyzing where I am. And we talk about goals, and the goals, I think about the goals I made at the beginning of the year, and maybe I didn't reach the heights that I thought I would, or I feel like I didn't come close. And so what I've learned to do is to just go through and say what did work and where I did improve and how that's going to help me get to where I want to be. And it's really changed my perspective and made my holidays better.
I love that because definitely we talked about this previously, and we've been talking about this for the past 2 months of prepping and with, ending 2023 with purpose, and understanding that, thinking about this time, like the month is almost over, you're starting a whole new year, and you look back at the goals that you started with, and they no longer either fit you, they no longer are relevant, or you just didn't accomplish them at all. You didn't make any strides in them. And that's absolutely okay. And this is the time to take a moment to breathe, revisit those goals. And this is one of the things that can help you nurture your joy, is learning to, even though you didn't, like Janelle said, you didn't accomplish all the things you wanted. What did you? Recognize those. Celebrate the things that you did. Give yourself a pat on the back. You did it. You're still here. The time is not up. The time keeps ticking, but it ain't over yet. It's not over yet. And so it's a great reminder, especially depending on the type of person that you are. Some people are very logical. Some people are very intellectual. Some people are just very creative. Some people are very about the numbers. That's a great way to grasp your environment by going and revisiting, reassessing where you've been to where you are now and where you want to go. And that's a beautiful thing because it also gives you ownership. It gives you the power to claim within you the things that you're capable of and know that there is something to look forward to. And that is how you can also nurture your joy, is revisiting who you are, tapping into that inner you, and claiming and reclaiming that power and go, okay, well, maybe I didn't accomplish, moving into a new place. That was one of my accomplishments. Like I didn't get a chance to this year to move into a new place. And as disappointing as much as, and so there's always 2 to 3 sides of the story. And if you, instead of looking at the negative aspect of the story, look at the more positive, uplifting opportunity within that story. Yeah, I may not be in a new place, but I still have one. I still have safety when it's raining, when it's cold, when it's snowing, when it's been hot. I still have a place to call home. And for those that don't, that's absolutely okay too. You're still here. There's still opportunities there for you to get there. And I don't want you to ever feel like it's the end all be all. And so one of the things you can also do in nurturing your joy is prioritizing that self-care. What does that self-care look like for you within these holiday blues? Does it mean that you are become a little bit of a hermit and go, all right, I think I'm going to just keep to myself and say no to going to the holiday parties? That's okay too. You can say no. Understand that no is a power of yours. Also, yes is too. Say yes to you. Say yes to who you are. Say yes to the things that you want. Say yes to the things that you desire. And say no to the things that you absolutely don't want to do. And then there's also a form of compromising within relationships. But if you don't articulate these things, if you don't dive into the things that you actually want or don't want, or what you're feeling and what you're not feeling, then how can you share your feelings, your emotions, your thoughts with those around you in your life? Janelle and I constantly are communicating to each other. That's one of the things I'm really grateful for as far as a partner, and not only a partner in the business, but as a friend. I feel comfortable to go say, hey, I'm really having a difficult time here, or like, I didn't understand what you were saying, or we have to have some deadlines here. We have a very open communication and we don't judge each other. It has taken some time because we have to get to know each other as well. And these are things that, you got to understand it's not going to happen overnight, but one day it will if you put in the work. And so just like Janelle and I are putting in the work individually, we're putting in the work together. And that's another thing that you have to understand with the people around you. And so just going back to, like, you have to identify, what is it that you really need? Do you need to say no to the things that you want, like become a hermit? Or do you got to go and say, you know what, maybe the opposite. I've been inside too much. And you don't necessarily have to be around your friends and family, but take yourself out on a date, on a walk. Go see the Christmas tree lights. Do things for free. Not everything has to be paid for. Take a little brisk bike ride in the city or around the neighborhood. Take a walk. There's so many different things that you can do. Although I don't go to the Bronx Zoo, or pretend I'm sure there are days where you can go to the Bronx Zoo for free in your city or wherever you are. Botanical gardens. There are so many things that you can say yes to nurture that self-care, that joy, and also connect with the holidays. It doesn't necessarily have to be blue. Just because you're alone just because you feel alone doesn't mean you are alone. You're never truly alone. You're never truly alone. I know it feels like it because we want companionship, we want love, we want friendship, we want our careers, we want all these things. But if you recognize that you're never really alone, whatever and whoever you believe in, your divine energy, God, anything, anyone that you believe in, they are always with you. Your past loved ones that have passed on, they're always with you in your heart. Always with you in your heart. You always have those memories. You always have those things to go to and pull from and go, oh, and laugh about it, smile about it, because you have the greatest opportunity to experience it. And remember that. And so now, before I jump into a couple of other tools and benefits of nurturing yourself during these blues holidays, is there anything that you've recognized that you have to implement during the holidays outside of reevaluating your goals that has helped you during this period and to jump into the new year?
I would say like you said, have the gratitude. And then I always want to feel empowered that I have a plan. I will always tell my clients or anyone, stop focusing on what you can't control. It's not helping you. I don't know what your situation is, anybody watching or listening. Things are out of your control. Most things are out of your control, and that sucks. And please have your tantrum, punch a pillow, cry about it, scream, be honest with how you feel. But then it's time to move on. You got to make a plan. Take the time you need, but I have a friend and I talk to her often, and she'll take weeks and months, and then she turns around and is like, oh, I didn't need that much time if I would have been able to pull myself out of it. And there's no judgment or shame, but it's just having a gentle eye and ear towards yourself and your body. But also you have to keep moving forward. This is life keeps happening with or without you. And so find the tools that work for you. As I said, I usually have to cry and really be honest with how I'm feeling. And there might also, and this happens a lot with holidays, maybe if you're in the entertainment industry or you're in some type of industry that other people don't understand, and they ask the same silly questions about why aren't you famous yet or something goofy. You might have to do the hermit thing or just set a boundary. And a lot of times with people, I will say to them, I know that you don't understand the industry because you're not in it, so you don't really know what you're talking about. But what you just said is rude and intrusive. So please don't speak to me that way again. And I don't think you had an ill intention, but I'm trying to make you aware. And that might feel uncomfortable for people. And there have been many times where I've lived my life and I've been myself and I'm told I'm this or that. And then I'm like, okay, then I don't need to be around you. And that might be what you have to do. When I go visit my family, I love them, but I always rent my own space because I know I need my own space. And at first they were hurt by that, but I said, I value having a healthy relationship with you. And when we're around each other too much, we fight. And it doesn't mean my family's bad or I'm bad. There's just, you're going to walk around in life and sometimes you're just going to bump heads with people. So it doesn't mean you have to say goodbye forever, but you just have to find ways to set boundaries and take care of yourself. And it can be very frustrating. People will talk about FOMO and missing out and all of this. And I even felt that the other day. I really wanted to pick up my boyfriend's daughters from the airport, but I recognized that I was really tired and I wanted to have energy for them. So it really sucked because normally I'm part of that journey, picking them up and so excited. And we're singing and dancing in the car on the way back to Grammys. And I hated missing that, but I was like, but I need to rest. I don't want to be cranky. And so these are all things that I would say, because if you stay in the funk too long, you want to be armed with tools and feel like you can move forward and move out of it. And sometimes that is just up to you, and that's okay.
I love everything that you just said. And, that self-expression, that setting boundaries, those are really two strong tools that you can cultivate and practice during these holidays. And I love your example of your family. Family can be hard. They're probably the worst people that we have to deal with at times, right? We can't pick the family we're born in, right? And sometimes those are the ones that we feel are the most damaging at times, because especially if they don't understand your career. I mean, I personally can vouch for that as well. How many times I had to navigate conversations with my grandfather, who is well into his 80s, and he knows my career as an actor. He's like, so why haven't you made it yet? I'm like, okay, grandpa, and literally blunt as can be. And I don't, when I laugh about it, and here's another beautiful thing, it's like, find the joy and the laughter in the things that they're saying, because he doesn't know what goes into the work. He's like, well, so what? Go to Hollywood and make it. And I'm like, yeah, sure, grandpa. And yes, that does happen for sure. And I laugh at it. I'm like, okay, grandpa, you got it. Because if this was that easy, you would have done it yourself years ago, because you talk about it, and it's like a little bit of a sting, but at the same time, it's the truth. No one knows your journey. No one knows the why, as Janelle always says. No one knows that inner truth and your compass of the passion and goal that you have for yourself, the vision that you have for yourself. No matter how many times you can tell someone, like, oh, I see myself on the red carpets and I have this home and I'm doing this and this is this. They don't know. They're only capable of their library of images and feelings and emotions and their self, right? Most people are in a very egotistical mindset, and that's absolutely okay too, because we're all living our own story. We're all trying to strive and be happy and find our joy and find our success and all these things. And so find ways to set those healthy boundaries, and also find ways to laugh about it and go, okay, if it was that easy, girl, but you could do it too, and it's fine. And I laugh at it now. And I think, as I also told him, like Janelle said, I've set a boundary. I'm like, Grandpa, when the time comes, I will tell you. But, and he goes, it feels uncomfortable that you keep asking me about an industry that you don't understand. And when he did understand that, and I explained the industry just a bit, he's like, oh, okay, Mama. Okay, okay, that's what he calls it, Mama. Okay, Mama, I understand. Okay. And so now he thinks about it before he asks me. And this is when the articulation comes in and the communication is very strong. So it's setting healthy boundaries, also expressing your emotions, like Janelle said, like, hey, that hurt that you said it that way. And it's okay. And some people may take it offensively. Some people may take it personally. And that's when it's really important to really dive into going, all right, I can choose how to react or not react. I can choose to go, does this really matter how they feel about my career and my life when they're not living it? Not really. Not really. And so that's, again, it's just the perception, the thought is also taking that moment in between to not intensively react in a defensive way. Going, well, oh my God, you don't understand. It's like, chill, just take a moment and think about it. Because what's probably in 24 hours and a year from now, it's not going to matter. And if it is, and if that's something that matters to you, that's when you bring it up. If it really matters to you because you care for this relationship or this person, then speak up. This is something that you really, really have to practice, and do it in the mirror, do it at home, write the script out for yourself, talk it out, practice it with a friend. Like, hey, I have this conversation I want to talk to you about. And it's not even just family, it's also your coworkers, your boss. Practice these things, work it out. So that's another way of doing that, and then, in times like this, find ways to stay active, find a balance in between. I know we all want to stay in and, like, no, I need my space, but also, again, find that space to be active. You don't necessarily have to, spend the money, because I know it can be hard, but taking a walk, like I said earlier, going for a bike ride, maybe visiting a dog kennel, to help and volunteer, go to a shelter. There's so many different things that you can do. You just have to ask yourself, what is it that you desire to feel? What is it that you desire to do? What is it that you desire to serve others through your gifts and your stories, right? And then it also comes down to being mindful of what you're ingesting. And that doesn't necessarily mean food. It can also mean your environment, music, and people and conversations. If there are spaces that feel very heavy and negative all the time because people are judging, ridiculing, being disrespectful to other people, and that's affecting you, unbeknownst to you, that's also affecting you, because you're going to get comfortable with now articulating and talking that way, not only to yourself, but to others. So you're constantly being in a judgmental state of mind, where it's like, why is she wearing that skirt? Or like, that relationship doesn't look good because they arguing. None of your business. It's none of your business. Stay in your lane. Stay in your story. That's the most important. So it's really being mindful of what you're ingesting, whether it's TV you're watching or music, again, like books, in your home. Yeah, sometimes you may not have so much autonomy of the space that you're living in, but find a piece, a small little nugget that you can add into your space that's going to remind you to stay grounded, to stay whole, to stay joyful. It could be a candle, it could be a little plant, it could even be a fake plant. Who cares, right? A nice little fake or a picture of a space or your dream location, like the Sahara Desert, or climbing Mount Everest. These things will keep you in a hopeful state of mind, not in a negative state of mind, not in a place of it's always horrible, I'm always sad. These moments will eventually pass. Like Janelle said earlier, and speaking to that, you can choose to get out of it. It can be difficult, absolutely, but don't stay in those negative emotions or those low vibrational emotions forever. And then connect with those that you love, the ones that really keep you safe, make you feel safe. Connect with them. Find ways to connect with them. Find, even if it's those that passed, go to the cemetery or speak to them when you're home by yourself. Like, hey, I do that all the time with my brother who passed. I talk to him quite often, and it might sound crazy, but it makes me feel good. It's none of anybody's business. It makes me feel good, and I'm not harming anyone. So I've learned what works for me. So I legit, hey bro, how you doing? Let me tell you about my day. Ooh, makes me want to cry. Hold on. So I miss him very much during these holidays because he loved it. But I talked to him. I'm like, hey bro, how you doing? Oh my gosh, I wish you were here to experience it so much you are. And I have those memories. Remember that time? All these things. And I nurture that within myself because it also keeps him alive within me. It makes me feel alive as well. And amazing and gifts, and what a gift it is to still be here. I know this world can be chaotic, of course. This world is sometimes a pile of crap balled up, but you can choose to find the joy and light within it. And as I take a moment to collect my tears now, any last points that you want to say about, finding and cultivating and nurturing your joy during these holidays, and any advice that you may have, anyone who may be struggling with something that you've gone through or experienced?
I think you've covered a lot that I would say. And I say this a lot whenever I'm talking about career, but remembering why you're here, what makes you really tick can help you. Because as a person that luckily I don't have it that much, but I have struggled with like depression, where like there have been days where I'm like, what's the point? And it's really difficult. And that doesn't always happen to me during the holidays, but for people it does. So if you're getting into like a depressive hole, it's just really important to block out other people's voices, stop listening to other people. A lot of times for me, I go into depression, and really anybody, is if you feel like something is so great that you can't get out of it. Or a lot of times for me, I just feel so rejected by people. I'm like, well, maybe I just shouldn't be around. Like, okay, if this is so much, what's the point? And it's a really sad thought because we're multifaceted human beings, and maybe sometimes we're too much, but a lot of times we're all these other beautiful things. And I'm grateful that I have my too much moments and whatever. It makes me human. And the fact that, and I talk about this with people where maybe you can't mask as well as some people. And the people that can mask, they get along maybe easier, I would say, but not internally. So, but you don't need to have compassion for those people that are really good at masking right now. If you have an issue with masking and you're just so much yourself sometimes that you can't help it in ways that maybe other people would mask, you know what? It's okay. As long as you're taking care of yourself and you're loving yourself for who you are. And we have to take responsibility for our actions if there is something, but if you're a person that's taking responsibility for your actions, and maybe you're going to therapy and you know that you're getting better in certain aspects of your life, look at that. Congratulate yourself for that. Like if you're in this depressive mode, what have I done that worked? Whatever's putting you in that depressive experience, think about times in your life that counteract that thought process. So I was like, oh, nobody likes me. Is that true? Probably not. There's probably at least one person that likes you, or one person that's thinking of you during the holidays. So, and then just, maybe rest, do the walking thing, whatever you have to do. But it can get very dangerous, and it's very sad because the people that have escaped suicide, and, we're not confused as to why it happens, and we're not judging people because that's a whole other conversation. But they say like, I am so happy I didn't, like, because that's such a moment in time. And so for anybody listening, like, you can get out of it. Like people do. Like eventually you do see the light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe it's a couple days or a couple weeks. But I'm hoping that you can get the help that you need. And it might not be, you might not have anybody in your personal life, but there's hotlines. or a lot of times if I'm like really having a hard time getting out of a certain state, I get somebody else that's positive in my head. So like I'll listen to a podcast because it's just really an energetic thing and just getting you out of here. You're like so in the hole. And so it's like anything you can do to get out of that thought process. And that's the advice I would give.
I love all of that. Thank you for sharing. And it's true. That was going to be one of my last couple of points is, cultivating rituals for yourself or practices that you can implement daily, if not, weekly, and understand that this moment will pass. And for those that, like Janelle said, escaped those suicidal thoughts or harmful thoughts, know they will tell you that they're glad that they didn't. And they just had to stick on a little bit longer. They had to hold on a little bit longer. They had to believe in something bigger than themselves. And if you hold on to that faith, if you hold on to that belief, it will take you further than you actually think you are. And recognizing how far you've come, how much you've accomplished, how much you've healed. No one knows your journey. No one knows how much you've healed but you. And it's no one's responsibility to either. You don't have to prove it to anybody. So give yourself the permission to go, I don't have to prove to you that I've healed. Either you see it or you don't. And that's that. And understanding that like Janelle said, there are many hotlines. There are myself and Janelle, reach out to us. If you're looking to figure out what's going on, reach out to us. We're here during these holidays. We're really making it a point to connect with you and really offer you an opportunity to have a sacred space to explore what it is that you need, want, and desire, and then setting concrete goals and going for them. That is our passion. That is our goal. That is our part of our life's purpose. We are storytellers. We are cultivators. That's who we are. We want you to empower yourself to do the same. And that was the whole purpose of me, bringing up this topic today and navigating the holidays is you can cultivate the life you want. Listen, and it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly how you think, but you can just imagine today you are the person that you wished you were 5 years ago, 7 years ago. Every situation that you're in now, you wished about or thought about prior. And which means you have the power. You have the power to change anything that you desire and know that it's possible. You are stronger than you think. You are stronger than you know, and you have the divine energy within you. You are a spiritual, powerful being living a human experience. And you can control all of that by choosing to say yes to yourself, to give yourself what you need, what you want, what you desire, saying no to the things that you don't, setting boundaries, building healthier relationships, not only with yourself, but those that you care about, staying in or going out. Resting, napping, very helpful. And so all those things, and just remember that it is okay to feel all these type of ways, and know that you will always be guided into the light because the light is always there. Sometimes you just have to pry our eyes open or look another way.
What are your thoughts about this episode?
Drop it in the comments and let us know what you want to dive into next.
Subscribe, like, share, and click the link below to book a free consultation. And
We'll see you next time.